Davers and I are cousins. We used to be joined at the hip, like feckin' Katie and Eilish. You remember them?
Yeah, don't say that.
I saw this movie about 10 days ago, and I can't shake the feeling that it will probably be one of the most important movies I see all year. This movie did release late last year in America, but it's only just released in the UK, so, this year for me. I'm often a little scared to offer up my thoughts and feelings on movies that tackle topics that I don't really have any personal links to. I just don't always think that I have the right to weigh in on some discussions, but something feels different about A Real Pain. Coming out in a wildly messy socio-economic world, Real Pain is written, directed and starred in by Jesse Eisenberg and has its show stolen by Kieran Culkin. It follows the story of two similarly aged Jewish cousins who, at completely different points in their lives, travel to Poland to visit their recently passed granny's childhood home, giving them the chance to connect with their Polish and Jewish heritage while navigating their own fractured relationships. This is a dialogue-heavy movie. It's almost suffocating with how little time you get to sit with some of the moments. Before you've even taken the next breath, you're already on to the next part. But somehow it didn't overwhelm me. I think it managed that balance between knowing when to shut up better than anything I've seen recently. It ended up speaking to exactly who the characters are. Eisenberg's nervous energy, where he doesn't really understand how to appropriately express his emotions, so he chooses not to, until when he does, and then he just dumps it all on everyone. I think there's a lot of people, including myself, that can kind of resonate with that lack of control of understanding of what we're feeling. And then you've got this stark contrast with Kieran Culkin's character, who is the guy. He's outgoing, he's friendly, and he's also hurting so deeply that he doesn't ever feel like he'll escape that pain. David wants to be him so bad, while Benji would rather be anyone but himself, it feels like. Fresh off the heels of Succession, Kieran Culkin managed to put all of himself into this movie. Eisenberg originally wrote the role of Benji for himself, but my god, I'm so glad he was convinced out of it, because for everyone's sake, Kieran Culkin was the man for this role.
Who just didn't kill anyone, but maybe only lost a couple of thumbs.
I don't know.
This guy!
I am about to commit a bit of a cardinal sin on the internet and admit something here, but I've never seen Succession. I maybe will soon. So Culkin's true prowess was never really revealed to me until now. He manages to bring this emotional depth that felt like he shoved his hand in my brain and just was fingering it, hitting all the right spots. It genuinely shook me how much I understood that want for the pain to just go away. I somewhat recently made a video about Ryan Gosling managing to blend vulnerability and violence so expertly. In a weird way, Culkin kind of manages to do the exact same thing for completely different reasons. Swap the violence for more regular non-murder anger, and you've got one of the deepest, most personal performances of the year. Just his presence alone manages to change the entire vibe of a scene, and you don't know what side of him you're gonna get, which kind of adds to the unease of what's about to unfold, but also goes to show how much of an impact he's having. Culkin is funny. Like, really fucking funny in this movie. And it's not that normal comedy drama type funny. It's that holy shit, I can't believe he just said that type of thing funny. Countless times throughout this film, Culkin does some shit or says some shit. You're just so taken aback about what you've just heard that you kind of just have to laugh. But the thing that really struck me about this was the group dynamics following these moments. Naturally, you'd think the group would slowly sour towards Benji over time, but his larger-than-life personality almost captivates them the same way it does us as the audience. There's this moment where David and Benji are saying goodbye to the group for the final time, going to finish their journey alone. And everyone is basically having these moments with Benji, while David is almost just an observer. Then their guy David, played by the wonderful Will Sharp, speaks to Benji in a very personal way about how his advice and criticism of him, despite being tough to hear, was actually really appreciated. And it's this really sweet, endearing moment. And he just finishes off with a "see you David" and a wave. It just captured how the two personalities left such different impressions on the other characters. It's not to say that there is anything wrong with David, just that his lasting impact is significantly less than that of Benji's, which I'm sure loads of people, myself included, will be able to relate to again. I mentioned that this movie doesn't ever feel like it really stops, but there's a sequence that zaps the hustle bustle of it all to a halt. The tour is brought to the Majdanek concentration camp. The music is gone, very little is said. You just experience it with them as if you're there. It is such a grounding moment for us, for the characters. It gives a sense of value to what's actually worth worrying over. I can't speak to the experiences of Jewish people themselves, but having been to Auschwitz, I did understand the overwhelming noise of what was and how the silence just exemplifies that. It's probably one of the most impactful moments I've had watching a movie in a very, very long time. And with the way the world is right now, it felt very much needed on the big screen. And Jesse Eisenberg really, really understood the assignment. Once you get to the ending, you know that outwardly nothing is ultimately different. Benji's still going to be Benji, and David is still going to be David. But things have changed inside, and that's nice. It's not the magic everything is fixed ending, but it's the one where you know that things might get better. And that's kind of what it's all about. I want to give a shout out to the whole cast. They really tied this whole thing together. I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I hope that more and more people continue to watch it because it deserves all the plaudits it's getting. If for some reason you've watched this video and you haven't watched it, please do and form your own thoughts and opinions on it because it deserves the time of day.